And we are live. Hello, hello. Welcome to Rebound to Riches. I am here with the amazing Coach L. Good afternoon, Coach L. How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you, Bree. Lovely to be here with you, especially, and all the people who are going to listen to this now and later on. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited about all these episodes that we are putting together.
Yeah, it's so much fun because we start and what the viewers don't see is that we actually get into this conversation and then I make us like, wait, no, we're going to talk about that. We've got a lot to talk about. We always have a lot to unpack and never enough time to do it. But I think we've got a good episode today, a good show today for everyone because we started talking a little in the background about we always talk about relationships. That's what this is about, a relationship with ourselves, a relationship we've had in our past with our parents, how we grew up, all these experiences. And one of the things we haven't talked about yet that I think we should talk about today is our relationship with money, and not maybe how that relationship is right now, but how did our relationship with money start? And what was our first experiences? I shared a little about my first experience was my dad was this like perfectionist and expected these super high levels of everything, and I didn't want to achieve those just to spite him because I would get like I was a little hellion, and so I would like battle against that, but he would get very like he was very mean about it and very like very strict about certain things. And so when he would come down as exceptionally hard on me, then he would always feel bad about it later, right? And then he would buy me something. Like I'm making up, so I'll buy you something that you've wanted or whatever. And that was like from my earliest memories, that was like my first relationship with money and spending, I guess. And it's kind of like I still battle that as I am an older adult now.
Yeah. So it's interesting because then it means that he would never talk to you about it, but because of his own guilt, he would have bought you something, and he conditioned you in a way that, okay, if I'm going to accept this hardship, this, whatever the negative thing that you went through to get to that item or that tangible thing. So that's what I'm wondering how it works out for you now these days, but we're not going to get into that.
Come on, I wanted some free counseling here. No, it's true though. But I think that we don't realize what our first experiences were. And my mom was like the opposite of like, we can't spend money on anything. We have to save, save, save. And, you know, she'll mend my clothes until they literally don't fit me anymore. And you know what I mean? That was like, I think from her childhood that she imposed on me,
Right.
where they had plenty of money to buy the things, but my mom would be like, no, and I still go through that with a lot of things in my life. I hate throwing food away. I hate like I'll like learn how to make something new out of something that I hate to throw things away.
Yeah,
So
same here. My mom was the same thing that she would,
yeah,
and we lived in a beautiful. I mean, we had the money. She just like made sure that everything, because it's all about because of their own childhood,
yeah.
how what they went through, and now they're like bringing it to our life to show us how to be. And that's why I tell a lot of my clients when they come to me, it's like, how old are you? And if it's like a 40, 50, whatever age, and so, okay, let's see how those early childhood times are still in you. We're not
Hmm.
gonna we're not gonna say anything negative about it because that's part of you. But how can you distinguish between the two when you're interacting, when you're talking about money, when you want more money in your life, when you want a good relationship in your life? Let's look at it. Are you operating from that a younger part of you, or you're the adult self? So it's a lot of it's some kind of work to bring ourselves back to this space of reality of today, and make sure that we're not going back. I mean, we're human beings, we go back all the time, but bring ourselves back. That commitment to self is so important, because that's the only way that you can really bring yourself back. Okay, I'm committed to be the 40-year-old of today, and interact with money, with relationship, being independent, but at the same time in a loving relationship, uh, from today. And how am I going to have those healthy boundaries? Because I want to be independent, but I want to have that loving partnership. That doesn't matter with my mother, still with my siblings, with my uh, life partner, with in business, anything, any kind of interaction. It's best to really look at it in a deeper way and give ourselves some time to reflect. We go through life automatically 99% of time. So
Yeah.
that automatic interaction is based on all of those past experiences. So yeah, so the emotional codependency and financial codependency is looking back of what what was the upbringing, where why am I mean, I was, and to the certain degree still am, codependent emotionally. I have to always ask myself a question. And a lot of people know about my backstory, why. And it's just because I went through that, and I had to understand that people don't. I mean, that my assumption of people leaving me when I love someone, they leave me. That makes me emotionally codependent, because I look at another person every time to see the reaction on their face, what they say, and my emotion goes with their emotions. So I'm not that individual by myself to have my own emotions. I mean, I had to really, really work on that to get to the space of being, feeling my emotions, being able to express my emotions, and have that boundary between the past and today. I mean, it's still, I have to give boundaries to my own younger part and the, the adult self. So it's doable.
Yeah.
If I can do it, everybody else can do it too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we don't realize all of these little patterns and these little things that how they manifest in our adult lives. So, I don't like throwing leftovers away. I eat food that probably should be tossed in the trash. I'm like, oh, it's only 4 days. I had made that 4 days ago. It's fine. I'll just heat it up really good and I'll eat that. And I mean, I kind of grew up with that, and I never thought I would, become that. I think I remember a saying many, 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 many years ago, and it was "Mirror, mirror on the wall, I am my mother after all." Right? And I'm like, no, that'll never be me. And I don't believe, like, I consciously make the effort to not be the way she was on certain things, but I do see things of my parents, and I find that I do them myself. Like, I do believe everything has a place in my house. So scissors get put back where they belong. Things like that that my father would just drive me nuts. Everything has to be put back in its place, and it all has its own space. And I remember those things, and I do those things now, and I'm like, wow, I am my dad. Um, but then there's also those things, the things that we actually thrive from, that happened in our past, that you know help us see joy in different things, help us handle different situations. There are things that we did learn as kids. It wasn't all this troubled childhood that we do carry on and try to continue on, that we learned from our parents. But it's some of those small little things that we just didn't realize are making an impact on what we do today, that isn't the best thing for us. And how do we free ourselves from some of those things? What do we do to make the changes that we need to see, and how do we begin doing that?
Yeah. Um, it's a lot of reflecting. It's a lot of asking questions. It's that exercise about putting alarms and really asking yourself, what do you feel and what do you need? That kind of, when you do that for a while, it makes you understand your feelings, feel your feelings, and looking at your needs. Because you talked about the mother and how the mirror, then that means that the energy of the mother, it's still in me. So how can we separate that energy? Because we are an individual, we have our own energy, but we have been kind of holding on to that energy of the other person. um, Basically, to be very conscious. And then what is consciousness? Consciousness is questioning yourself. And sometimes it's a skill that you, after a while, you can be in that space of being conscious. Meditation helps a lot, a lot. Even like 5, 10 minutes. Even I'm not a person who sits and meditates. I can't do that. So from years ago, I do walking meditation. So if you can't sit and you fall asleep or anything like that, I mean, sleeping is okay too when you meditate, but maybe the conscious way of meditation is the walking meditation for you. um, and just journaling, that's another thing that actually works well. If you can't do it in the morning, maybe in the middle of the day, give yourself 10 minutes, or at the end of the day before you go to bed. So this will all really give yourself time to sit and really feel your feelings, reflect on the day and what has happened during the day that you can look at. So these are the 3 tips I can give people who are listening to start with. And I know that we have some ebooks and all the material that they can use to start with. I have a self-discovery journal that I can share. And this is something that you can do. It's like for 10, 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long period of time.
Yeah. I think, it's stopping ourselves. It's writing, it's doing that journaling and recognizing. I think that's the beginning things that we definitely need to do is recognizing, either in the moment or afterwards, is that reaction, is that thought, is that thing that I'm doing, is that me, or is that an experience? And the more we journal and write it down, the quicker we'll realize it, the quicker we'll see what choices that we're making, and then start being able to make changes in the moment as we deal
Right.
with those sorts of things, right? I love the journaling. I think that's so important. And sometimes, I'm gonna guess that at first we don't see it right away. We'll see it later on. Oh, I bet I did that because, or I didn't like how I that handled that. And the more we journal about it, the closer that moment of things happening to that moment of realization, that gap starts to like close,
Close.
right?
Yeah. And I guess the other way of, if you wanted to be faster, because when you do it on our own, and yes, self reflection, journaling, all that is a key. But when you work with someone that can see what you cannot see and can process with you, I mean, that's huge. Because, and yes, of course, you have to trust that person to be able to have that talk about that reflection with you, and have some questions that you can answer on your own, and then come and have a conversation about it. Because things comes up when we ask ourselves questions, and then sometimes we don't know the answer, or maybe we know the answer deep deep inside, and we need somebody else to help us to bring it out with kindness, with compassion. Um, so yeah, there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. How fast and how willing you are to get to that place.
Yeah, 100%. You need a guide. You need someone to go through it as those things come up and as you're writing things down. That is just one of the tools. And then it's how do I handle that? How do I make the changes? How do I deal with that? And what does it even mean? I think there's a lot of, okay, I'm recognizing that, but now, like, I don't know how to fix it, or I don't know what to do with that. Great. Now I know, but now I got to fix it. And the speed at which we can get things, make these changes in our life, I think that's hugely important. It's why we need that support, and we need that person, like you to help us, interpret, adjust, recognize, and work through a lot of that, because there's a lot of, it's not just that one decision in that moment. There's a lot of things that you actually need to, like, work through to get to where you're finding your joy and your happiness, and are able to handle the good and the bad days, and make decisions that are good for you, that you aren't making right now.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that everybody has the answer to their own question.
Hmm.
The process on getting there, it can be different. And truthfully, whenever I have a conversation with my clients and then I really um, ask them the question, at the end of the session, the answer comes through them. And it's amazing how it comes out, because I do ask the question, but then when we go step by step, they have the answer. And whenever it comes up, the eyes opens up, it's like a light bulb, and that's it. It's just I feel that I'm a vehicle for them to get to that answer, because it's deep inside, we all have it, but we have so much stuff on top of each other that we cannot reach that answer. Of a lot of stuff is happening around us in the past, all that. But then when you have that conversation in a safe space with compassion, then the answer comes out much easier, faster, um, to get to the place that you want to get.
100%. Yeah, you need the guide, you need you need that to get through all of it. I want to shift a little bit. I know we have a lot left to cover today, and not a lot of time left already. It always goes so fast. But there is that, and one of the things I wanted to bring up and go back a little to that financial part of it.
Mhm.
And I know I'm going to guess a lot of people, when I say this, you're going to be like, 100%. I totally get that. We talk about retail therapy, right? I've had a horrible day. This has been a terrible week. I need a little retail therapy, which means I'm going to go shopping and buy things I don't need, but it's going to make me feel better, right? And
Yes,
it's like, how do we learn that? Why do we do that? And how do we stop it?
it's all same thing about eating.
Yeah.
When you're anxious, I mean, I catch myself all the time. Am I eating this piece of cake or this chocolate because I need it? No, it's just because I want it. Yes, why is that? So and it's okay if you want to go shopping and you had a very bad day or anything that makes you feel that you need to go shopping, as long as you're conscious about it, that you're doing
Hmm.
it because for you to feel better, asking yourself, what do I need? A new pair of shoes, a new hat, whatever it is, and I'll just go and explore. And if I find a hat, if I find the shoes, it makes me happy for that 20 minutes or half an hour. It's okay.
Yeah.
So if you have that conversation with yourself and you're doing it consciously, it's okay, because you're asking yourself, what do you need? And okay, I need to go shopping. What do I
Yep.
need? I need a piece of chocolate. So, but when we do stuff unconsciously, and eat like the whole box of chocolate, or
Done
go
that.
uh,
Guilty.
go buy like 10 different things, and we cannot afford it, or we have to wait to put on a credit card or whatever it is. Just why can't we just think about that? Why am I doing it? And yes, if I want to buy something, maybe one item for
Yep.
that satisfaction, maybe one piece of chocolate for that satisfaction. It doesn't have to be the whole box. It doesn't have to be like, I don't know, $5,000 or 2,000 or whatever it is that we cannot afford at that time. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
The little things. I mean, we want to celebrate, we want to reward ourselves, we want to do things, but it doesn't always have to involve money or food. We can find other ways to do the things that bring us joy and can feel like that job well done, reward, at a girl, slap on the back, whatever it might be, to kind of get those. It's all about the endorphins and getting those things that we need. And so, and sometimes it can just be even journaling. It could be writing in your favorite journal about the excitement of your day and sharing that, and kind of cherishing that moment and having that locked in time, in a journal that you write in, that can preserve that feeling, that joy that you had, or that thing that you need, um, so that you can go back to it and feel that again. And that's a simple way to do it. You have a lot of stuff over on the Great Discovery. I wanted to talk a little bit about, there's courses over on the Great Discovery. We're going to put links in the chat, to Elle's courses. What's one of the things that they can find over there, that we want to highlight today?
I have actually a 5-week course about how to unlock your love potential, and it's a 5-week actually going deep inside and looking at our own behavior and what our values are. It's all journaling and also reflecting, and it's a 5 week, so it's not that long, and it's about understanding who we are deeply inside. So I can offer that for the people who are listening to this, and yes, I can put the link to that.
We'll put the link in the chat for that so that you can find it. And I wanted to end us on, we have some exciting things happening coming up. I'm going to share my screen on this. We have a very exciting program coming up. Our Rebound to Riches starts December 1st. It runs through the entire month. We are going to be transforming you in our 30-day class. Both
Yes.
of us will be in there. We're going to be doing daily exercises in there, live streams, all kinds of fun things to transform your life so that when you roll into 2025, you are all ready to go and get all of those New Year's resolutions. Everybody else will be like, "Oh, I got to start my New Year's resolutions," and you're going to be already working on them. Got a head start, a jump start to what it is you want to achieve. Elle, tell us a little bit more about what we can find in there.
Yes. So what we have been setting up the program, or the 30 day, is looking at where we are today. So financially, relationship wise, health wise, we're looking at it as of today in December 1st, or the first few days, the first 10 days. We're going to look at that, explore why we are there. And then eventually, as we go on through that 30 days, what is the expectation of ourselves for this new year? So we're looking at where we are now and where we want to be, and that process needs some yes, it talks about self-care routines. Look at and see if you have that self-love for ourselves. Financially, where we are, can we move ourselves to be in a different space financially? How? And we're going to talk about all that. We have some experts actually in a financial consultant. I'm going to bring her in and have a conversation and give some tips of how to look at for the 2025. She's very knowledgeable, and we're gonna have some fun time having her. She said she can come, more than one time, so we'll see.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have all kinds of things in here. Get on board with this. It'll be starting December 1st. You can sign up now. We will have a special group for this exclusively. And I'm really excited for it because there's going to be a lot of things that you'll learn there. I'm going to be doing a lot of self care routines. So if you're looking for some new DIY, really amazing organic recipes for your body, for your skin, I'm going to be sharing those in there as well. You're going to be ready to rock and roll in 2025 by joining us in this amazing, amazing 30-day program. And it's priced at just $99, which is a steal. To be a part of it, we would love to have you in there. So that is the information on that. We'll share the links to that as well. And as we wrap it up, Elle, I can't thank you enough. We're like, what are we going to talk about today? And we always have so much to say, and it goes so fast. And before I know it, our time is over. But
I
what's
have
the
one,
last thing you
I
want to
have
share?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say, the why we kind of put together these 30 days, and why do we want everybody to come in on a daily basis? Because the main reason, yes, we're going to give you a lot of information, a lot of things to think about, to journal about, all that. But the main thing is that we always learn from each other. So in that space, um, it's going to be interactive on that Facebook group that we have put together. So when people have questions, and of course, Bria and I will answer if it's regarding for us. But then you can be interactive in there and learn from each other. That's a key to success. It's not just one or two person, but if we have a community of people in that space for 30 years, imagine 30 days, imagine um, what kind of interactions it's going to come up, and what are you going to learn from this. I'm excited about it.
I'm excited too. We're gonna have so many things to learn about, and so many. It's gonna be this really beautiful, tight group of people that are gonna be in there with special guests that'll be coming in to teach us more and all kinds of things. It's a space for you to get a jump start on your 2025. Get a really solid basic plan, and you have Coach Ellen, myself, in there with you, walking the journey hand in hand with you to help you every day, keep you motivated, keep you focused, and really get a routine down so that you are ready for the new year. We will be doing this class again in January. So if you miss out in December, we will have it again in January. Unfortunately, the price is going to be going up quite a bit. We wanted to get you in early. I get you in this first session so that you can get an amazing price on it. It will be going up come January 1st. So get in while you can. Ask for it for Christmas. Get a little money extra early. Put this in your budget. We would love to see you in there. And we will be back here again next week, talk a little bit more about it, to share more with you on Rebound to Riches so that you can have the emotional and financial freedom to have the life that you want to live. Thank you, Coach L, for all that you do. You always have so much great information.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Brie. Beautiful setting here, and thank you everyone for
In
listening.
the dark because all my half my lighting went out this afternoon, so I got to rewire some stuff. I don't know what's going on, but we made it. Thanks to everybody. We'll see